come and check. Okay, why? Come in here and check on it. Okay, 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 okay. Everyone, welcome back. We finally got it working. So, Lippy Kayas. So, okay. So, everyone, welcome back. I'm guessing it's probably either my brother White or Cash, but if you can hear me, type W in the chat. Okay. Can anyone hear me? Okay. So I guess we're going. Okay, so basically what's going on right now, I'm going to give a new update every 5 minutes. So being that it's coming up about 4:20 right now, we'll go ahead and do it. We have some storms that are trying to fire up here in southern Illinois around Vienna, Ozark, and Golconda and the southern portions of the region. And then out west, we have some storms that are firing up with tornado warnings. We have one up here by Jerseyville. We'll zoom in and look on that one real quick. For velocity, whenever we're here looking at it, we can tell that there's a little bit of a tight rotation. Well, not really tight, but there's rotation there. Nothing too much. I mean, any rotation is always bad. So I will never tell you that that's wrong. If there's rotation, that means you need to get in shelter. That's all there is to it. And then whenever we move down here into more towards the Boot Hill area, we can tell that we got three tornado warnings, all radar indicated. And whenever looking at velocity at them, we can tell they're not really stronger. I think they were stronger earlier whenever looking at it, but the rotations aren't as strong right now. So that's a good thing. No tornadoes on the ground at the moment. But whenever we look here in the main portion of the area, actually there's a storm chaser down there by East Prairie and New Madrid. So that's crazy that we got someone through there in this area for storm chasing. That's a thing. I know a lot of people live down there, but not many people come through here for storm chasing. And if it does, it's pretty bad, especially if it's on the radar. But whenever we're looking out there by Bardwell, you can tell there's a couple storms starting to fire up, and then there's some isolated heavy showers moving through the area. One north of Jonesboro, east of Cape, and then a line of scattered strong showers here and there across through the eastern counties of Illinois. So right now, the entire region of where I cover is under a tornado watch. Which, okay, we'll do a reminder. But the difference between a tornado watch and a tornado warning. A watch, that means the conditions are favorable for it, but a warning means there's rotation right now or there's a tornado on the ground. So I'm going to just zoom out and then we'll go to the national radar. We don't want to go there. Lord, it is bugging out, ain't it? Look at composite. We'll look at nationwide. We can tell there are storms firing up all across the country. Mostly, we look at severe. It's all throughout the um, portions of Arkansas, eastern Texas, Missouri, and parts of central western Illinois. and it's all trying to form a squall line. But until it can do that, there's going to be isolated cells. But as soon as it forms that squall line, there's going to be up to 60 to 80 mile an hour winds, straight line. So that's very damaging. If you have anything outside right now, I'd recommend you go out and try to tie it up or put some weights on it before it gets flown away and you can't find it no more. So I'm actually, is that okay? So all the tornado warnings right now are radar indicated. If I'm thinking right, now we got a storm report right here of a funnel cloud. So that's never good if we see a funnel cloud. So a tornado is trying to form up here by Jerseyville. That was 10 minutes ago. So let's go ahead. We'll go here. Look at radar. Up here, St. Louis radar. And let's look here at the velocity signature. Yeah, so there isn't much. I mean, I see a little bit here, but I don't see much rotation in there. But I'm going to be saying most of the severe weather that we're going to be getting here in around Ozark, Vienna, or Southern Illinois in general is going to be hearing about the next hour or so. We might be 2 hours, depends on how fast they're moving. But last time I looked, they were moving at approximately 50 to 60 miles an hour. So that's very fast moving storms. So that means there's not going to be very much flooding, but there will still be the severe straight line winds and etc. Tornadoes, hail, all that. Hail isn't one of the big concerns for today, but it's definitely one of the smaller concerns. So I'm gonna take a break right now and turn on some music. So I'll be back here in approximately about 2 to 3 minutes. It ain't no sunshine. You cross my path almost like crazy. I tried to numb the pain. There ain't no damn way. I end up in that place where I drink strong whiskey away. And I don't mind if I drink up and learn and show up at you. If you wanna know the truth, it's killing me not holding you out. I'm on every way, crawling all the way across the Moscow Road. But you don't mind if I almost get tricked. For a while I quit thinking about you. I got less faith. Some nights I can't control. Sometimes I give in cause I'm okay, welcome back everyone. I'm here. So far we don't have no big storms in our region. We got some scattered showers and some stronger storms. Well, more like isolated thunderstorms. Nothing severe at the moment. But whenever we look out here, then we have tornado warnings and tornado possible severe thunderstorm warnings throughout our western counties. But my main storm that I'm watching right now is up here by Jerseyville. There's been a reported funnel cloud with it, approximately, I'd say about about 15 minutes ago. So I was there. So I'm guessing, well, not guessing, but more looking at radar. I'm not seeing much rotation on this, except maybe a little bit right here. Let's look at this. Yeah, I don't see where they got the rotation for the storm, but it's part of a squall line. So I've talked to several meteorologists about how they warn squall lines, and it seems like some of them are just guessing because you see it once, but they're moving so quick, you kind of just gotta throw a warning on there. But it's one of those ordeals where I don't see where they get the rotation for this storm. But hey, welcome to the stream. But whenever we look here at the local radar, we can tell that there's some weaker thunderstorms around the area with only a few, one or two of them producing lightning where it will show on radar. But most of them are just showers, and then a couple might have the chance to possibly turn into a severe thunderstorm warning, but that's a super low chance at the moment. Now, here in approximately 30 minutes, if we got some to form out in here, that's where the main, that's a bad John, that's around this area, then that's whenever we could get the stronger storms to develop. But right now, all the storms are out to the east, right in here. And we got a smaller storm trying to form right here. Okay, so let's go back and we'll look here at the tornado warning out here by Salem. It's out of our region, but it's one of those ordeals where we can't just put it off to the side and not let it go. So I'm guessing that for this, I'm wondering if they're going to put a extra tornado warning on this storm or not, being that there is rotation still right here, some weak rotation right there, but not that much to be showing. Oh Lord, what in the world just happened? Okay, so yeah, there's a rotation that's. What in the world? There's some small rotation there, but whenever we look here at the reflectivity, that's right in the core of the storm. So right now they do not have a tornado warning on it still. Let's look here. Okay, so they still got the tornado warning up, even though after the main spot of rotation that I saw is out of the region of the warned area. Well, I mean, we got some forms of. There's actually, now looking at the new scan of it, there's several different forms of rotation. There's one here, one trying to form here, which these two could form together. And there's also another one up here. So there's three different forms of rotation right here. So I'm hoping it don't produce tornadoes, but with the conditions today, we might have a couple tornadoes drop down. Okay, so being that right now Southern Illinois is pretty calm, we'll do one final check of the regional area of what's happening, and then we'll go to the outlooks for the day. So, final rundown for right now, we have a couple showers around the area. Our main ones that we're watching right now is over here by Jonesboro, just southwest of Marion, out there by Grassy. little grassy. And then we got some storms out here just west of Vienna. Then we also got a couple isolated thunderstorms trying to form out here. So right now, it's nothing severe at the moment, but it's looking like if conditions can change real quick, it could produce a couple strong storms. Whenever we look at the outlooks for the day, we can tell we're right in the heart of the most severe spot where we could get. We're in a 3 out of 5 today, and the main priority is going to be severe straight line winds, and then also a small chance of tornadoes. Whenever we look at the tornado um, chance, we are in a 10% hatched area. So that's you can look at it two ways. You can look at it as either a 90% not getting a tornado, but also you can look at it as a 10% of getting a tornado that's of up to an EF2, EF3 rating. So usually they put these out here a decent amount of the time, but usually whenever they put it out, there's going to be at least one or two tornadoes. So it's one of those you don't want to let down your guard. You always want to be paying attention today and make sure you know how to get alerts and make sure you have multiple ways at that. And then whenever we're looking here at the wind, we are right in the hot spot with a 45% wind risk for the day. So usual, this is the first time ever seeing a 45% wind risk in my time of watching radar and doing weather. So this is something really rare for me, but it's also a hatch. That's winds up to 70 miles an hour and possibly even stronger. But mostly it's going to be the wind threat that's going to be the strongest for our region. And whenever we look at the hail, we can tell that no, we don't want that. What in the world's going on? Sorry about that, everyone. But the hail, we are not in a big hail risk. We're actually only at a 5% hail risk, and that's usually like where the weaker forms of hail is. So there's a 5% chance of you getting severe hail. So that's anywhere from sometimes I'll consider it 3/4 of an inch. Sometimes I'll consider that 1 inch hail. So anyway, 3/4 inch to an inch hail can damage cars, windows, houses, vegetation. There's a lot of stuff it can damage. So you don't want to what's it called? Ignore the hail. And whenever we look at the day two outlook to try to see what's going on for the next day, we can tell there's nothing going on, but out east there will be several storms that will be going on. So, and they're all going to be from the same system that's going through today. So, and also, we are in a high wind warning. So they're saying we could have consistent winds from 25 to 30 miles an hour with wind gusts up to 60 to 70 miles an hour. So that's one of those ordeals where you make sure everything's tied down. And then we are also in a tornado watch. So I'm just going to go over it one more time for now. I'm probably going to go over it several more times. The difference between a watch and a warning. The watch conditions are favorable. I know there's certain people out there that whenever they see a tornado watch out there, they start going crazy because they're scared, because they don't like storms or anything like that. But you shouldn't be scared. You should be prepared whenever it comes to severe weather, especially whenever tornadoes or straight line winds or anything like this. So you want to be prepared for it by knowing where you're going to go if a tornado warning gets issued. You want to know if you're in a warning, and you want to also have multiple ways to receive alerts. So that could be a weather radio, your phone, your computer, an iPad, a radio, a TV. There's so many different options and so many different apps out there that you can get to help warn you. But and then a tornado warning, that's whenever there's rotation in the atmosphere, or there's either that or there's a tornado on the ground. So anytime you see a tornado warning, don't think, oh, we have these all the time and a tornado doesn't happen. you actually want to get down in your safe place, and you want to where if you got hit by a tornado, you wouldn't be injured. So actually, looking at radar right now, that storm that was starting to fire up over just north of Jonesboro by Cobden, it's getting stronger. So let's look at velocity to see what the wind speeds are with this storm. I'm guessing about 30 to 40. So let's look. So the storm just around here. So yeah, about 20 to 30 mile an hour winds with this storm. That's a typical thunderstorm wind with that. So nothing too horrible right now. If anything does get stronger, I'm predicting they'll put a special weather statement out on it for about 5 to 10 minutes from now. But let's look at the track of the storm. So these storms were going about 45 miles an hour. If they're going northeast, say going here, put 45 miles an hour. We can see in about 45 minutes it'll hit Marion. Let me go back to here. So in 45 minutes, then it'll hit Marion. So let's zoom in and see if there's any main roads that we'll see on it. So Wolf Creek, if you're in Wolf Creek right now, you probably want to go ahead and get inside. And then Nielsen, Hudgens, it'll be coming your way in about 10 to 15 minutes. So if you're outside, you probably would want to get inside right now. You don't need to go into an interior room, but it wouldn't be great to be outside because one, you're getting a lot of rain on you, and also you're going to be getting some high winds. So branches could be falling off and being thrown around. And then there's this other storm that's starting to form right now, just east of Goreville and just south of Pulley's Mill. So that one will be more, it looks like a straight line wind threat than anything. So right now we don't got no severe threat in southern Illinois or Johnson County specifically. Whenever we look here, let's look at some there's some thunderstorm damage we're seeing. We still got that funnel cloud report. Inch Hill was somewhere down there by Mountain Home. But they still have this tornado warning on. So I'm guessing they see some type of rotation out here on this southern portion of the storm. So let's go to Springfield's radar. And let's look at the rotation on this. Thank you everyone for being on the stream right now. It means a lot to me, especially being that this is the first stream I've been on. So thanks for being on the stream with me and watching. And I hope you come back for the next stream. But anyway, yeah, I'm seeing still that little bit of rotation here. There's some hefty winds up here. So let's look. And that's on the backside of the storm. Right on up in here. So most of the winds are going to be coming in from this inflow. But then again, you look storms. Let's look here. 70 mile an hour winds behind the storm. And about 50 to 60 mile an hour winds in the storm. So we still have that little bit of rotation on up in here. And then let's get this out so whenever we want to use it, we can. And then let's see, who is actually the one that issued this is a severe thunderstorm possible now. So this ain't even a, let's see, this is possible. I'm trying to see which KLSX. So yeah, Springfield's the one who posted this warning, which this is about to be moving into the Paducah station now. So here soon, that's going to be harder to detect on radar to see if a storm's actually happening or not. If I'm entering in and out, if not, then just tell me. That's simple enough. I mean, that's all I'm asking for you right now. But looking back in the storms around the area, they're not looking severe at the moment. Look at here. We'll look here at the velocity to see how much winds are pushing off. Up here, actually, is what, because all through here, there's not very strong storms, but there's actually some very strong winds. It's a new radar scan just pulled up. So let's look at here. So there's a stronger storm that's about to go through Vienna right now. Let's get a storm track on that. They're moving about 45 minutes. Ooh, what in the world is going on? Ah. Okay, so let's put up 45 miles an hour. This just guess. Okay, so let's look here. So we'll go back to here. Excuse me, everyone. So all advisories and everything through the area right now, we have 766 across the region. I mean, across the country, actually. Yeah. So this is a track for it right now. Some of the places it could hit, it could be going through probably the more northern portion of Vienna, so about Dutchman Lake and right through the high school. I mean, and I'm just going to say this again, there's not a severe warning on this, so you don't have to take shelter in your insides, but it's looking pretty strong. So you might want to get inside, but it's not a necessity for this storm. And then Bloomfield, Pond, Sanborn is actually getting a smaller shower right now that's coming down pretty hard. We'll be going through Ozark, New Burnside, McMormick, and then up there by Newcastle and Stonefort. That's just one of the bigger storms in the area right now that we're watching. But I'm watching right now to see if this right here is going to try to form into a squall line. Because if that ends up forming to a squall line, then this could also try to form into the squall line as well. And then that's going to be bringing off about 60-mile-an-hour winds. And that's not good at all. But my main threat, well, actually, right now, St. Louis just got issued a tornado warning. So this is not good. We're hoping it's not on the ground right now. Because they actually had a tornado last year that caused major damage to the zoo. Yeah, that's some weaker rotation. I mean, it's harder to see on here. Times and these days, if there's any rotation, you have to really just call it. So I'm put the radar back to Paducah, and I'm gonna be off here for just a second. So I'll be right back. Okay, so welcome back, everyone. I'm back, and I'm here on the live. So let's actually go back up to the storm in St. Louis right now and see how that's gonna form. Hopefully, it won't produce nothing. I'm seeing the hook. Where did that pin go? Okay, so I lost my stylus. So where'd I put that at? That's a very good question for me to try to figure out real quick. Hold on. I'm gonna be muted for just a few seconds. Okay, so welcome back, everyone. I am back. So we're gonna look here on velocity. Okay, so whenever we're looking at velocity, we can see how there's a little bit of rotation here. Let's get better colors that way. Oh, blue. Yeah, I like blue. So there's some of that rotation that's right there. So whenever we look here at reflectivity, we can actually see that they're starting to move it to pink. We can see this little little hook trying to form, and there's that rotation. So the main spot the rotation would probably be is right here, but it's actually forming out ahead of this. So what this is probably going to do is probably going to end up form getting the storm to come more out here and hook in. So that's going to be something we're definitely going to have to watch for. Yeah, so I'm going to go back to there, but let's look here, down here for a second. Yeah. Johnson County and northern Massac County, you're probably going to be getting some pretty decent thunderstorms with some pretty gusty winds in it. So just be aware of that. But for now, we're going to go back up to St. Louis because that's where the main threat is around the area. Whenever we're looking here, let's get a storm track on the storm. So these storms right now up here are moving at 43 miles an hour. So right now the rotation is just south of Crestwood. So if you have any family that lives in Crestwood or in that area, call them and get them to go to shelter. And then Grantwood Village, that's another little spot. So basically, the storm's on the southern portion of St. Louis. So that's a good part, but it's now let's look up here by Clayton up here. It's looking like there could be some rotation possibly up in here, just south of Clayton, but I see most of the rotation being down here. But most of it's going to be out here by so into this is down here by Afton, Cahokia Heights. The May, I think that's how you say it. It's we're gonna be the main threat because let's pull this back up again. You see how this squall line is forming through here? Well, here, let's redraw that. So the squall line is forming through here. But right here it's trying to form that. Usually whenever that happens, that means there's um either it's gone this way or it's green on this way. So that'll cause the circulation right there. Hint hint why there's that bump in there. So right now we have no storm reports on it. None of that. So we're gonna be continuing to monitor this storm to try to figure out what's going to be happening with it, and hopefully there's not a tornado that touches down. Now let's check on these other storms. There's actually a tornado warning out here. Let's see who issued this one. KSGF. Trying to figure out who. This one is by Springfield. They're the one who issued this one. So let's look here for rotation. Oh my, there's several portions of rotation. There's one trying to form here, one trying to form here. Looks like also one trying to form down here. It's not wanting to draw right today. So yeah, so today's gonna probably end up being a very active warning day. Now, it's not guaranteed that there's gonna be tornadoes that touch ground, but well, they actually just extended this warning. Yeah, so these tornadoes warnings, these storms are moving at 65 miles an hour. Let's see, was that? I bet you that was probably Paducah that issued that one. Yeah. So yeah, these storms are gonna be moving into um, the the Paducah's um, warning spots. So that means they're going to be joining our area anytime soon. So these are actually the storms that more than likely we're going to have to worry about here in Vienna and Ozark. So we're going to have to keep an eye out on those storms here for the next about 2 hours. I'm going to take a break and I'll be right back. So welcome back, everyone. I'm back. I just got me some right now. Let's go up here. We'll check the St. Louis tornado warn storm, and it's still radar indicated. So let's look here at the velocity ratings. Yeah, there's still a decent amount of, not a lot of rotation, but just enough to cause a warning still. And I'm seeing less rotation the more we look, but downtown St. Louis and the main portions of it should be fine. So surprisingly enough, they have not extended this yet. So I'm not for sure if they're in shelter right now or if they're just waiting to see what happens. But I'm expecting a tornado warning to be extended to here. That's where I'm expecting the tornado warning to be issued to, or it could be issued here. Those are the two spots it could be issued, but that's where I'm guessing at the moment. But I'm not a licensed meteorologist, so don't quote me for nothing. For the most reliable weather information, go to your National Weather Service's website or your weather station's website or their TV channel. Okay, so actually, as I was just eating my food, there's a tornado. Severe thunderstorm warning that it got extended into Illinois, but there's no. So they still got the. Okay, yeah. So they still have the tornado warning out, but they just extended this severe thunderstorm warning. And then let's look at these storms moving into Van Buren right now. Actually, you know what? Let's look here in the region because it's getting windy out here. So let's look. We have some storms start still moving through the area around through here. So it don't look like those should be a big issue. Just mostly winds and also possibly some small hail, about quarter inch or so. Okay, so welcome back, everyone. I'm back here on stream, and let's take a look here at this Van Buren tornado or Van Buren storm. My bad. If I'm pronouncing Van Buren wrong, just inform me on that. I'm not good at names, so. Whenever looking at the Paducah radar, we're not seeing much rotation, but because what happens whenever it gets out there, let's see actually see how many miles it is from the storm. 136 miles. So about 150 miles. So whenever the radar's hitting it, it's about almost a couple miles up in the air. So they don't really know how much a storm's rotating on the ground. So it's kind of more of a guessing game here over here in Van Buren because it's out in the middle of nowhere and we can't actually end up. So they can't actually see how much the storm's rotating on the ground. So with that the case, I'm gonna be focused on it because that's coming right towards the region. But the more focused one right now is the St. Louis. We still have radar indicated. There's also down here by Hillsboro a funnel cloud reported. Let's see. Okay, so 23. So it's an older report up here by St. Louis, but if I'm guessing right, it'd probably be from this thunderstorm, which I have a possible on. Surprised they haven't tried to throw out a tornado warning on that, but yeah. So let's look at the velocity signature right now. If you hear any screaming or anything in the background, don't mind it. It's my mom's boyfriend, and he's a little bit psyched. So anyway, just ignore him if you hear him in the background. But whatever, we look here at the velocity signature. Okay, but whenever we look here at the rotation again, there's some rotation up here by Granite City, and then also some down here by Cahokia, Chokia. I don't know how to say that, to be honest. I'm guessing Cahokia Heights. So we got some rotation in here, some rotation up here, and then also I wouldn't be surprised if some didn't try to form right up through here. It's back whenever looking at reflectivity. Yeah. So this is exactly what I was talking about earlier. Hey, how's Melanie doing? Huh? But whenever we look here at the reflectivity, we can see that here's a squall line. And then we got these little portions. Let's go with blue. That's popping out right here. So it's one of those sort of deals where we just gotta watch it. Those are our main signs of rotation or like where it's trying to form. And that's still radar indicator. Oh, and then we actually have a brand new tornado warning. Whenever we look here at the velocity signature, we can see here that the rotation is right through here. That's actually a pretty strong rotation. Let me get a better drawing of it. We look here at the rotation. You can see where it's hooked. So usually that's a key sign to knowing that there's going to be either some strong rotation or a pretty good tornado if one can actually touch down. So we're going to wait to see what happens with that one. But for now, let's come back here and we'll look here at the Van Buren storm. They still have it as a what's it, still radar indicated is what I'm guessing. Oh my gosh, what is going on? But yeah, I'm not seeing no real signs of rotation on here, but it's one of those where it's so high up in the atmosphere where the radar's hitting it, you can't actually see if there's rotation or not unless if it's that high up. But okay, I'm back. So we see that um the storm near Farmington, that's the biggest storm that we're going to be looking at. Look, let's look back here at velocity. Oh, my bad, guys. I didn't notice the mic was still on. But the rotation here is all through here. So that's a pretty good rotation on that storm. So I'm hoping nothing drops. So let's look here at the correlation coefficient. And we can see that there's some decent hail that's trying to form. We'll go there. You can see these little portions all through here. Also, way up here, that's hail signatures. So if you see that on the radar on correlation coefficient, that's what that means. There's hail in the atmosphere. And then we still have that hook right here. So I'm hoping nothing drops down from that, but that's right where the rotation is, right through there. I'll be right back, everyone, in about 2 to 3 minutes. Okay, everyone, I am back. Sorry for the wait, but whenever we look here, we actually have a new tornado warning up here by Waterloo. I did not see much rotation off of this, but I think this was the same storm that was back here forming that funnel cloud. What in the world just happened? That's not supposed to happen. Okay, so what? Okay, I hope you can hear me now. Maybe. Hey, whoa, whoa, whoa! We just got a funnel cloud reported 11 minutes ago. Okay, so the storms right here. Approximately what in the world just happened? But they just had a reported funnel cloud right out here. So I'm guessing the storm that's producing a funnel cloud is right through here. My computer's not wanting to work today. So we're going to see how that plays out. So, yeah, you can still see where that hook is right there that's trying to form. So, yeah, you can see where they're trying to hook out all through here. So, Collinsville, that's where just east of Collinsville, that's where that one is. And then up here by Troy, that's where that main rotation is probably going to be. And then whenever we come down here and we look at the Belleville storm, you can see there's that rotation right here. They just issued a new severe thunderstorm warning for this storm. It's actually a pretty long one too. I mean, I'm not really surprised by that, but pretty long. So we want to. Oh my gosh, what in the world is going on with this computer? Let's go here, reflectivity. Then we also got a new tornado, probably KPAH1. Gosh. So we got another storm that's here. Radar indicated. So let's look here at the velocity. We can see the rotation up here. Some rotation trying to form here, and then also some trying to form down here possibly. Let's go down here to reflectivity, and you can see kind of like where they're trying to form. Like here has that hook kind of Here there ain't much. Here there ain't much, but you can still tell whenever looking at velocity where they're seeing this force, the severe storms. And then, so let's actually get a storm track on this. The main one here at 51 miles an hour. So Bloomsdale, you got 4 minutes until it hits you. Prairie du Rocher, I think that's how you say it, 14 minutes. Ruma, 21 minutes. Evansville, Illinois, 23 minutes. And Baldwin in 32 minutes. So, and then let's actually go back down here to the Van Buren storm. Still radar indicated, so that's a good thing. Let's look out here. There ain't much you can see off the velocity on here. But yeah, not much there. So most of it's we're just watching and waiting for storm reports to see what's going to happen. We're really ideally the best spot for us to see the rotation on radar is anywhere on up into here. So out through here, you can't really see that much on radar because it's so high up in the atmosphere. But now, whenever you look on this side, you can see most everything on radar. Sometimes too much. Which, I mean, sometimes that's a good thing, but sometimes it's not. So let's look back here at the national radar. Whenever we look at the composite, if it'll reload, we have actually a blizzard going on up north right now. Up in northern Illinois, Iowa, parts of it, parts of northern Missouri, parts of Wisconsin, and then we also got snow squall warnings up there as well. But this squall line that's coming through right now, it's all the way up here and is pushing its way all the way down into Texas. So that's a pretty long squall line. If we look at the measurement from a straight line, it is about almost 800 miles. So that's a long distance for a squall line. So that's going to be bringing straight line winds all the way through. And the main threat for the evening hours is going to be down here in Tennessee, Mississippi, Louisiana, parts of Alabama, parts of Georgia, parts of Arkansas. Those are going to be the more nocturnal threats. But whenever the daytime threats, then it's going to be more through here. Also through here too. So it's mostly a mix. I mean, it's kind of hard to predict what's going to happen. So it's mostly we're just seeing what's going to happen at the moment. And there's no tornado warnings at the moment, but a lot of down in Arkansas, Texas, and Louisiana. But now once we get out the Arkansas Missouri line, there's multiple tornadoes. So we're just seeing what will happen with those. Okay, I am back, everyone. So right now, so that we got a couple storms that we're watching. Actually, one of the no, we want to go to radar. Yes. So it's not wanting to cooperate. That isn't that great. So we actually have a report of funnel cloud with this. Still showing that, but okay. So we're gonna just read off the counties right now. So that way it gives a little bit more broader. So for the southern storm up there by St. Louis, it's central Monroe County and southern St. Clair, southwestern Illinois. This tornado warning is going until 6:15, and this is a capable. So there's not a tornado on the ground, but you still want to be in your shelter. And then the one up just north of that, it's for southeastern Madison County, northeastern St. Clair counties, and it's also a capable of producing. So it's not a guarantee that a tornado will happen or a tornado is on the ground. But this will end at 5:45. So there's 10 more minutes left of this warning. And there's also a new warning that put out for southeastern Monroe County, Randolph County, and southeastern St. Clair County in Illinois until 6:15. So you still got another about 30 minutes on that. And while we're at it, let's actually look at velocity on that storm. So yeah, I see the main point of rotation is here and here. And we also got, it looks like some what wants to be rotation, but it can't form yet. That's what it's looking like. Where it go? So this is going to be a very active day for tornado warnings. Thankfully, we have not seen a single tornado on the ground yet. But we're going to knock on wood now because we do not want to see that happen. So we actually got a. Let's measure this out. So a length of about 70 miles where there's a tornado warning, the entire length. And that's pretty rare for that to happen. For a squall line, it's kind of more common, but still, that's a very long amount for tornado warnings. So let's look here. They just put a new severe thunderstorm warning. Both radar indicate. So let's look here. Let's see if we can see anything on the velocity. Yeah, no. We're still not seeing nothing on velocity right now. So actually, what in the world is going on right here? I'm seeing reflectivity and velocity. That is not normal. Let's go to reflectivity and look actually in the southernmost portions. Yeah, we got some showers out here near the Indiana border, and then some showers also up here through Johnson, Union, Wilmson, almost Franklin maybe, and then down there by Massac area. Those are just showers, so nothing severe now. So my main concern right now is this um, thunderstorm line that is all possible producing tornadoes. So that's a possible, and there's a possible. So this entire line is where there can be tornadoes. So I'm gonna leave it on there. I'm gonna check for all um, the actual reports going in right now to see if we can't see nothing else for the. So let's look real quick. Okay, so yeah, whenever we're here looking at the reports, let's here. Let's try to zoom in more up here near the. Yeah, we can see that there's been multiple 1 inch hail reports, and then a couple 1 or 2 2 inch reports here and there, and then but mostly. So let's go back. We're screen sharing. What in the world is happening right now? So let's go here. How can we share again? Close. Okay, so I'm trying to see what in the world right here. Separate views. Okay, so here we are. So we finally got that worked out, and still just here watching to see what will happen up here. Right now, all up here they just got canceled for those storms. So we're gonna see how that works out, and hopefully they don't drop a tornado. But if they do, we'll be here live stream watching it.